Hi friends, this is Suzy, your Candy Crush Guru, here to help you solve the puzzle of level 1476, but I'm also going to give a sugar drop tutorial with this as a special dedication to Mary. So we can see that 1476 has a C on it, unlike some of these others. This means this is a sugar drop level, and there are usually about 3 sugar drop levels marked with C's in each episode. And so you can go to any one of these to collect sugar drops. So I'm going to go to 1476. Now I can tell it's time for me to collect sugar drops because here I've got these sea candies. I call these their superhero utility belt on the candies. And it says that we have 34 of 36 needed before we get a prize. The prize is going to contain a booster or 2 or 3. We can get up to 12 boosters per cycle, and I'll explain that a little bit further while I'm in the game. But this is what I want to look for. Now, if I go to a level that is not a sugar drop level, I'll still see that, but it's grayed out. So I want the one that's nice and vibrant. I know if I go in here, I'll be able to collect my sugar drops for this level. Another indicator once I get in here is that I have an apothecary jar. Now I have 50 moves to collect. It was 100 green until everything started falling, 100 purple, and 100 wrapped candies. Now you might think the best thing to do on this board is to try to set these color bombs up with wrapped candies because that will complete the order the quickest. You don't want to complete the order the quickest. Alright, so this is how you make your sugar drops. I made a move that made at least 4 subsequent moves, and because of that, it gave me a sugar drop. And so now I get to collect the sugar drop, and if I do that, it gets put into my apothecary jar. And that's the value that I have. I now have 2 sugar drops. And that move created another one. The easiest way to create the sugar drops is just to make a move that makes more moves, and for that it's blowing things up. Using any of your specials is likely to give you that. Now, because I made that move, watch, I'm going to get a sugar drop. You just have to wait until everything's done cascading. It takes a while. This is a self-working board. This is my favorite because I get a lot of sugar drops from it. There we go. Now that also set off a UFO. I can collect based on every time I make a catalyst, a change occur on the board. And so the UFO creates a color bomb or a sugar drop opportunity too. And so this UFO will go. And this UFO, after it's done with its thing, if it produces one move that then escalates into several moves, it creates a sugar drop. And then this one will do the same, and so on and so forth. Other things that create a catalyst on the board would be a conveyor belt. If you take a turn and you create a cascade, you can earn a sugar drop. And then the conveyor belt moves and it makes another cascade, you could get another sugar drop. Another catalyst on the board would be those color changing candies. After I'm done making my move and the color changing candies go, those chameleon candies go, what's going to happen is the board is going to change again, and it may make another cascade. It may make some matches, and if it does that, then I get another sugar drop. So those are all opportunities, any catalyst. And that's why I say you don't want to collect things too quickly here, because if I collect too quickly, I reduce the number of turns I have. So let's say I use all 50 moves, and on those 50 moves, I'm able to make a cascade each and every turn. Well, then that's a total, not even counting the UFOs, of 50 sugar drops I could have in my apothecary jar at the end. Now let's say I beat it in 25 moves and I don't have the use of the UFOs. Well, then that's a maximum of only 25 sugar drops I can get from those turns. So I want to hold out, maybe not until I am at the very end because I don't want to lose the level. But I want to make sure that I'm collecting as many of these sugar drops as I can. So I don't want to hasten it by creating a situation where I make a color bomb match with the wrapped. That'll give me too many wrapped candies on the board and I'll finish it way too early. All right, so we're setting off these UFOs, and the UFOs will give us the catalysts. And you see we're collecting just fine. We'll watch the ratios. When we get down to about 20 moves, we'll check it again and we'll see. Other than that, it's pretty self-working. I use the specials. I make moves low to the ground to encourage those cascades. That's how I do this. Now let's talk about what I get for my work. I can collect up to 180 sugar drops per cycle. If I do that, I get a total of, on average, 12 boosters. Because of the way things operate, sometimes you might only get 11, but then the next time you should get 13. It should average out to 12 boosters. Those boosters you can collect are any of the ones that you can also get, like through spinning the wheel. You can get a gold bar, a hammer, a switch hand, a color bomb, a striped wrapped, a lucky fish, coconut wheel. Those are the ones I can think of. I think that might be all of them. Those are the different types that you can get. You can't get the ones that you can only get by paying for, that you don't get on that spinning wheel. Like you don't get the UFO on the daily spinning wheel, and you don't get the paintbrush. So those you also will not be able to collect. So you'll get a maximum of 12, or an average, I should say, of 12. Now, when that happens, after you've completed that cycle, there's a cool down phase. That ratio of 24 out of 26, or whatever the ratio is, that will change into a countdown clock, and you'll have a cool down period of 8 hours before you're able to collect again. And so so after that 8 hours is up, you'll go back to the ratio, and you'll be able to start collecting again over, the 180 over that same period, and then you'll go through another cool down phase. So if you could collect all of your sugar drops instantaneously, in theory, you could make 3 collections in a 24-hour period. Now, it's going to take you a while to collect, so that's not, the theory doesn't work in practice. But you can get about 2 to 3 collections in one day, depending on how you play it. And that's where I need to talk about something tricky. It's easier to collect on the old platform as opposed to this new HTML5 platform. I can go into the old platform, and because the old platform operates differently, I can get double my reward if I also beat the level. We don't get that on the new platform. You just get whatever's in the apothecary jar. If I finish this with 30 sugar drops in my jar, then I get 30 sugar drops toward my 180 goal. On the old platform, if I complete with 30 sugar drops and I win the level, I get 60 of my 180 in the jar. So it's much easier to complete. And then the other thing is, I can't do this on the new platform. I haven't figured out a way to exploit it anyway. But on the old platform, I can go into Chrome or Mozilla, and I can open up 3 windows with Candy Crush. And as long as I open all 3 windows before I start playing, before I actually collect any of the sugar drops, I should say, then it will allow me to collect on all 3 boards. Not only that, but I can set them up side by side in my screen like this, and I can play them all concurrently. It's harder to do on a laptop. Sometimes you don't have the processing power. But on my PC, I can get those going, and you've seen that this is self-working. I have not been thinking about this at all, and unfortunately, because I haven't been thinking about it and I haven't been trying to not win, I actually beat the level with 22 moves left, and I try not to do that. I do a better job when I'm actually thinking and not talking. So very hard to actually lose this level. So that's how you go about collecting on the old platform. Because I can collect double the amount on 3 screens concurrently, I can get all of my collecting done in 15 minutes. Otherwise, you have to go to various levels to get all of the collecting done. My favorites, this one by far is my favorite, 1476. There's also 1168, 666, 281. If you're high up, 3009 is one of my new favorites. 945, 918, 906. 1137 is pretty good. I've had some recommendations about 832, but I have the feeling that that might be a hard level to complete. But if at the same time that you're doing this, you're also collecting your golden spaceship or lovely letters, boosters. See, look, now we've got a new thing. And this is blocked out because I can't repeat this level now for my sugar drops. But I'm collecting these lovely letters. So now the C is gone from here, and I have to go to another level. I could choose 1471 if I wish. And now I need, and I just kind of breezed by the fact that there was that conveyor belt. Those were all that work, and I bypassed it because it's so standard for me to collect those. Those were the boosters that I got as a reward for collecting the sugar drops. I should have pointed that out a little more directly. But then I just go to the next level that I want to, that has a C. Now some of these won't have as many turns, and so you won't be able to automatically collect as many sugar drops. Like this has 35 turns. Also, it has a smaller field. So if I make moves in here, but they can't make cascades, then I'm not going to be collecting nearly as many sugar drops. But some of the harder levels where I can collect sugar drops may not be as hard once I can bring in my lovely letters. Now there's a glitch going on, and it's giving me double everything that I earn on those lovely letters. So I get an extra bonus. So that's what I can do to earn my sugar drops. If you'd like to see more videos, you can subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please put those below, and I will try to respond as quickly as possible. I will also put down how I go to the old platform and how I collect sugar drops on the old platform. However, be warned that you can't do it on a mobile phone or device as far as I know. And if you do it on your PC, if you do it on your laptop, you may not have enough power to run 3 at the same time, but you should still be able to do 3 consecutively. And then also, if you want the old or the new platform back, you'll have to clear your cache. So it's a little bit tricky, but I'll put that down there for anyone who wants to try to do it very quickly so they can earn a lot of these boosters as quickly as possible. As always, thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye-bye.